Greetings. What's up, Turtletarians? It's your boy Easy. And as you may notice, Ryan is not here. Um, so, he had one of those things where you think you're clear, you're good, and then your family's like, oh, hey, did you forget about this? And then, just, life and family happens. But thanks for tuning in if you're here. If you're not, well, I sorry, maybe. I guess that's the appropriate thing to say. Um, so I figured I'd do a quick chef special real quick just so we could, show up and have our let's see, what did my mom always say? She's like it's nice to see your face, or no. Lay eyes on you. That's what it was. That way y'all could lay eyes on us, or at least me, and just imagine Ryan's wherever it is over here. And I need to get my weird drawing of Ryan that I did for the ending where we're both in Cuddly's mouth, which sounds really weird if you're not familiar with the show, but I need to get that and put that on the side whenever he's not here. Or I could do a sock puppet. That would be amazing. If any of y'all actually know how to make sock puppets, which, I mean, I know how to do it, but I guess if you're a professional sock puppeteer maker, I don't know. Is that still, that's not a no, I'm getting all kind of confused. Anyway, let me know, because I don't know, that'd be kind of neat. That way, if one of us can't do it, then the other one can just have, like, do some puppetry over here. So we got Ryan Raglan in the chat. Wow, forgot it's Thursday. Merry Christmas to all. And he continues to say, I'm sophisticated and cultured, but definitely immature. Oh, we all are. So yeah, no, don't. You're in good company. You're in the right place, Ryan. So don't worry about that. Yeah. For some reason, I remember putting that up when we started doing this YouTube thing, because there was something that was going on, like in the YouTube culture, I guess is what you'd call it, and people were like not really upset, but they were worried about YouTube like banning their channel, or just totally like shadow banning, or whatever they call it, if you had anything that resembled something that kids would like, and if you didn't like specify certain things. So they have the option to say it's not for kids, but still, just in the abundance of caution, I added that. And I don't know, I kind of liked it, so we just kept that warning sign. So but I don't know. Well, yes, Merry Christmas. Christmas is right around the corner. I believe it is 4 days away, which is kind of wild. Not really sure how I feel about all that, but it's here. My wife and I, Shannon, that always sounds like I'm speaking in, when I do it to Ryan, it's different, but whenever I do it, or to myself, it sounds like I'm talking about three different people. But my wife, Shannon, and I, there we go. We've been watching a bunch of different Christmas movies to try to get into the spirit, I guess. Not necessarily movies, but like more like specials, like Christmas specials from especially from like the 70s and 80s and 90s, if we can. And it's been a delight. If you're looking for something to kind of get you in that mood, I recommend that. Like, we watched, let's see, what did we watch last night? We did watch a movie. We watched Ernest Saves Christmas, which is great, and really, really loved that. And it was better than I remembered it being, to be honest. And I thought it was going to be a lot more gross, but apparently there wasn't a lot of gross humor in it, which I was very thankful for, because I'm not a big fan of that. And then we watched the Carpenter's Christmas Portrait special, which the Christmas Portrait special record is one of my favorite Christmas records, like, just of all time, because that's what I grew up listening to in Christmas with my mom. And so I'm very partial to that. But the Christmas special was wild, because they have a bunch of people I'd never known or seen before, except there was this one lady, her name was Georgia or Georgette or something, and she was on the Mary Tyler Moore Show. I remember that because she had a very high-pitched voice. But she was on there, and then everyone else I didn't recognize. And one of these dudes comes on and sings a song, and he starts talking about like how he's got this theory about Christmas. And his theory was that, like, you give what you actually want for Christmas. So, like, if you're giving this, it's because you actually want that, but you're giving it to someone else, I guess, in hopes of getting it returned, maybe. But then Karen comes up, Karen Carpenter, and she says, oh, well, all I did for y'all was give y'all food. And if you don't know, Karen Carpenter unfortunately died of a eating disorder. And so I'm just like, this is This is kind of foreshadowing, like in a major way, and I was like losing it just thinking about that. And then my good friend Terry came over, and we watched this movie that supposedly, and I might have talked about this on the show, I don't remember, on Prime, but we watched a movie called Deadly Games Dial Code Santa Claus, and it's supposed to be the precursor to, or not the precursor, the inspiration for Home Alone, and so that was really neat, and that kind of helped. But the other thing that we're probably going to end up watching on New Year's Eve is that I found that somebody has taken two different compilations that I love, which is like, well, I guess just two, yeah. The Nick at Night bumpers, just they just have tons of compilations of those, and I absolutely love those. And then compilations of Christmas commercials that took place in the 90s. So what they did was they got the Nick at Night bumpers to play in like a 4-hour block, but then they would play right as they're leading into whatever was on. So Bewitched was on back then, and it was the Bewitched Christmas episode. And then, you know, during the ad breaks for that episode, they would show Christmas ads from the 90s. And that just kind of, I don't know, got me 6 to midnight, if I'm being honest. And I absolutely loved it. So yeah, that's what we've been doing here at Grayskull Studios, trying to get into the holiday spirit, and hopefully you're finding something that works for y'all as well. Let's see, we were supposed to do an actual episode tonight, but like I said, Ryan unfortunately couldn't make it, and so yeah, we were supposed to be covering 2 more episodes of the Ninja Turtles Next Mutation, which surprisingly we are still in the midst of, which just reminded us that we really need to get some more episodes out this coming year. So that's kind of a goal, if you were wondering what we were going to do about trying to get through this. And I've talked this over with Farmer Greg, who is old friend of the show, consultant, guest host, producer, all kinds. He wears many hats. I was at his house on Monday night, and we were talking, and I was thinking that like I might have to forego some of the Bag of Tricks episodes that we have that are just kind of in the tank, because the 90s gets a little weird at the end, and there's a lot of weird, obscure things that either we haven't covered yet because we either didn't have it or we didn't know about it, or whatever the case may be. A couple things that come to mind is there is a oh my goodness, I can't think of her name, but Raph's girlfriend from Adventures. Why can't I think of her name? Her name is escaping me, but nevertheless, she has a comic that's in a weird, like, I don't want to say, I'm going to say furry kind of comic that's like from back in the 90s, but like, well, it's really more just anthropomorphic animals, but like with a different kind of twist to it. I forget what I think it's called, Furlough or something like that. She's got 3, if not 3 issues, 3 stories in that. And so that's a Bag of Tricks that we've got. There's we eventually will need to do the Adventures Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles and Ninjara. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you so much. John Clemens in the chat. When did this start? At 8:00, bro. That's what we do. It's 8:00. You were turning down. That's what you were doing. But no, yeah, thank you, Ninjara. That was totally escaping me. I was not finding that. Sorry. Honest to God truth. It was 8:00, unless I'm mistaken, but I don't know. You can rewind it and find it. But John, I'm glad you're here. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, so there's that. Yeah, the Mutant Hero Turtles from the English version, where they had like some of their own issues. So we got to go through that. And there was one other big thing that I was thinking of, and it escapes me right now, but there was a couple other things. And then the big thing was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cereal. And I've mentioned it a few times, but I'm eagerly anticipating it, and also very like scared to do it. Like it seems like it's going to be a lot more work than I actually really want to put into it. But I'm also I'm on the opposite side of that coin as well, where there's so much there that I'm really looking forward to it. But specifically, there is a couple, I think there's 4 back of the boxes that have like a very detailed kind of game to them. That's kind of like a board game almost, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm kind of hoping if I can acquire them in by some means, like even if it's a PDF or whatever, if we can somehow rig like a special episode where we play that game, I think that would be amazing, and I would be super happy about it. And then I also might, I don't know, we might have to have a Patreon reward where I film myself eating well, let me back up. I found in looking up some of this stuff for the cereal that some people have actually gone like done the homework and found the ingredients and how to remake it. So we might have to do that, get Farmer Greg to be Chef Greg, and make us some cereal, and we could film that and maybe do that as a Patreon reward. I don't know, get some more people over there. Make sure we don't say clang with the Breakfast of Champions, I guess. I don't know. But I do know that I have my turtle cereal bowl, the one with Michelangelo still, just up in the cabinet to never be used because it's too precious now. There's something about eating cereal out of a bowl with a face looking right at you. Like, I don't know. I don't have kids, so I don't know if that's a thing. I have cats, which I'm used to sleeping with having something staring right at you, but like eating is kind of weird, especially when it looks like you're eating out of their chest. That's a little. I had to look down to remind myself what I was talking about. If you were wondering, Jesus, what's wrong with me? Anyway, so yeah, so we're probably going to postpone some of those bag of tricks, and we're going to try to jump into 2000s once we get done with this the next mutation. So next mutation, I think I could be mistaken. Ryan coming in with a spin-off podcast making TMNT food products. Bro, we have talked about this. It's a lot of work, and time is something we are very short on. But Farmer Greg got me a cookbook of the turtles, and I think it's mostly just the pizzas that they made. I'm not sure so much that it's from it has the 87 art on it, but I'm not sure if it's like strictly just all of those, because the longtime listeners of the show will remember that we tried to keep track of all the pizzas that they listed in the episodes, but that didn't last very long. But yeah, so we talked about that. I had a whole graphic made up where it do I have it over here? I don't know if I don't think I have it in our OBS file, but but it looked like a oh no, I don't have it. But it looked like a Steak and Shake almost. If you don't have a Steak and Shake, it's basically like a 50s diner that has black and white two-tone checkers everywhere for like tiles and stuff. And we were going to do a whole thing like that, like just totally make stuff from this this cookbook, but we just didn't have the time. But who knows? I mean, it's still on the table. Let's see. John Clemens saying hyped for 03 series. You and me both, bud. Like I love that series so much, and I'm very excited to finally dive into it. I was listening to the older episodes of the show, and I was really disappointed that I kind of spoiled Ryan on some stuff that happens in that series. But I'm hoping that that his elephant brain was turned off at that point and will forget that I mentioned certain big spoilers that happen in that, so that he'll be very surprised when it happens, because I remember being like totally like floored when I saw it. But nevertheless, it's still pretty impactful, so I think it'll be fun one way or the other. And then Ryan coming in with the slime pies shaped pasta noodles. Yeah, some of that stuff, oh, it's just, I get what they're doing, like tying the brand into the sewer pies and all this, mutagen and all this stuff. I get it, but it's too gross for me. I don't know. But yeah, we'll have to see. We had a clever name for it too. Like, I can't think of it. Farmer Greg probably knows, but yeah, but we'll have to see if we can get that resurrect that in the near future, hopefully. But yeah, I know that the 03 series is like, right off the bat at the turn of the millennium. And then I think I know Volume 4, it comes out pretty early on in that time frame. And then I think there is also a Casey story, if I recall correctly, that had something to do tangentially with Volume 4 or leading up to it or something. So we'll definitely have to cover that as well. But I think the going plan is that we're going to get through Next Mutation, and then we're going to do the Power Rangers a two-parter where the Next Mutation Turtles with different voice actors apparently crossover. And if you're interested, hopefully by then I'm gonna have some toy reviews of. Do I have them? Yes, I do. Of the Ninja Turtle Power Ranger action figures that have been out for forever, but I just haven't got around to them yet. And they've been showing up at Ross and a bunch of discount stores, like a bunch of other toys have. But they've been showing up, and so if you've been sleeping on them, I don't think anyone has found Shredder there. But this is one of the best toys, the best designs, just freaking cool. And so I highly recommend picking them up. And I've been enjoying playing with them, but I'm trying to get some reviews on my Easy Opens channel that can correlate with our review of the Power Rangers crossover for some brand synergy, if you will, and see how that works out for us. But yeah, so I'm real excited about getting through with this. I've enjoyed the Next Mutation so far. I hope y'all have too, because as much as Ryan and I have, I was geeking out last week because of finding out about that or just deep diving on those drawings that were in the back of the layer. Like, what the hell was that? Like, I have so many questions, and yeah, so gonna get through that, and I feel like getting into 2000 is going to give us a little bit more momentum and take us to some interesting places, and then we'll backtrack a little bit to get the 90s fully wrapped up. But yeah, it's just we kind of are itching to get into the new millennium, and I don't know, it'll be fun. But let's see. John Clemens also hyped for IDW ongoing comic. I think it started in 11 or 12. I have the collected hardcovers. We'll read along with the podcast. Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, I have most of the hardcovers, and I believe you're right, around 11 or 12. It kind of came out right around the time when the Nickelodeon 2012 series came out, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, I am super excited about going through that, and because it's so expansive. And I don't know, we might, not that it's like unprecedented for us because we've been doing one episode per prime for most of this year, but we might take it like one issue at a time each episode. I don't know, because like I don't want to rush it. That's the thing. Like I don't want to just blow through this because it's such a good like thing, and we've been eagerly anticipating it since almost the beginning of our show anyway. So I don't know. It's a weird feeling to. It's kind of like when you're almost done eating and you're like, oh, this is so good, but I don't want it to end, and it's just you do it noodle by noodle at that point, and it's still just as good, but you just don't want to rush it. And so I don't know, maybe y'all feel differently, but you can let us know. Email us turtlesoupshow@gmail.com. Let us know how you feel about anything, but specifically how to do our coverage of our stuff. So yeah, let's see. Ryan Ragland saying, I need the food podcast. Damn. Yeah. Well, I'll have to pester Ryan, and feel free to contact him by any means and let him know that that's something y'all want to see. And Farmer Greg, find him on the internets and pester him too, because he is a he like I said, he wears many hats, and a chef's hat is one of them. He made the best quesadilla that I'd ever had until I went. Sorry, I'm having to think. Until I went on my second date with my wife Shannon. We went to a restaurant that had quesadillas, and we just got a quesadilla, and that was either I couldn't remember if it was better or like on par with Farmer Greg's quesadilla, but it was delicious. And so, and most things that I've eaten that he has cooked have been amazing. His wife Priscilla, also known as Personal Pan, she made some blondies, which are like brownies that are like white, I guess. I don't know why they're called that, but they're kind of salty and sweet, and they're delicious. So most things that come out of Farmer Greg's kitchen are usually very good. So yeah, I would be totally on board for that if we could find the time and the means and all of that. Let's see here. Ryan coming in with Turtle Soup is already kind of a perfect name for a good TMNT podcast. You're right. Like it is. I mean, it kind of fits the whole cooking chef motif kind of very well. And so we might just need to lean into that anyway. So who knows? John Clemens says, I enjoy you watching it. I haven't sat and watched a lot of them. Yeah, no, I feel you. Like, it's going back to too what you said about reading the IDW while we cover it. Yeah, that's something that I don't think I've ever actually experienced outside of maybe watching Marvel movies and then watching new rock stars like review it and break it down. Outside of that, I don't think I've listened to a podcast and followed along with what their coverage was. I kind of just like supplemented it with like their coverage. But over the course of our podcast, like we've had a ton of people write us and say that they're following along and they really enjoy it. And that's really cool. And then I was tethering that to the idea of me and Ryan reading it together and coming together and talking with y'all about it. How much more enjoyable these things are. And like just especially something just like Next Mutation that gets, usually universally panned as just not good, but yet I've just found a ton of redeeming value in it. And I think a lot of that comes from the camaraderie of watching it and dissecting it together. So yeah, I don't. Your mileage may vary though. Watching it on your own, just without anything else, it's a little much. But when you have other stuff to it, it kind of, I don't know, works together in some conglomerate that makes it better. But let's see here. Ryan's saying way more fun to hear the boys talk about it than watch the episodes. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was just saying. And then John says, well, you got to save room for that last Ronin dessert. Oh, that's true. Yeah, I have only read, I think, like the first 2 issues of Last Ronin. I've enjoyed the art design and all the work and stuff. Everything looks really great, and from what I know of the story, it's pretty cool. But I've steered clear of most of it just because, and even the action figures. I think I bought what's that thing called? I thought he was. Oh yeah, there he is. Oh, let's see if I can get this without knocking everything over. So yeah, the Sinja Patrol Bot. I do own this. So I'm not entirely sure what the story is, but I do own this because that is, I like a sleek ninja design. If you know what I'm saying. And so I have that, and I think I have the main Last Ronin Mikey figure. But other than that, I think I've steered clear. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to reading it, but I've got so many Turtles things. I don't know if I need them yet, but I'll probably regret it. Who knows? But I just had to make that call. Let's see here. Mitch Fletcher in the chat. Mitch, what's up? Christmas time is here. It is indeed. Ryan coming in with it's going to be real weird when you guys catch up to what's coming out when you started the podcast. You're telling me it's going to be bizarre. Like going back and listening to the older episodes and kind of doing the remixes and whatever. Like it's surreal. And yeah, now it's just going to be bizarre. And then I don't know if we're going to know what to do with ourselves at that point, but still should be fun. And then, yes, we called her Personal Pan because of her middle name too. Sometimes things get abbreviated, and then we were wondering what my friend David was wondering what the P stood for, and we were like, "Is it Personal Pan?" Yeah, it was just a whole thing. So yeah, but that's what we call her. Let's see. John Clemens, the value of Next Mutation is in the trauma bonding. Absolutely. Thank you. That was a way better way of articulating what I was trying to say. Yes, indeed, the trauma bonding. Like it's just wonderful. And I don't know. But still, like that's the same goes for the Image book that Ryan and I found ourselves loving that too. And so I know that usually isn't people's favorite in a lot of different circles, but so far we've really enjoyed everything. Most of I think the things that come to mind about things that we didn't like really were mostly just like guest writers that would show up in Mirage, like the volumes 1 and 2 usually didn't like the guest writers coming in, and then anytime like people we knew that did really good work had to do like rushed work, like that Chameleon issue of Adventures. Like it was like those, I remember not liking those. And then the animated series, we hate on it a lot, but it's really just because it's so long. Like there's so many episodes in it, and it just was a chore getting through it. So, but I think overall we can say that we enjoyed the animated series, but it's a little rough. But even some of the stuff we started covering when we did the start of the YouTube channel, like the different the railway thing, the blue line or whatever it was called, like that stuff was fun. I mean, I don't know if it's anything like if it's considered good, but at least it was enjoyable or entertaining to say the least. But yeah, as much hate as Image and Next Mutation get, I don't know. I've been enjoying them. So if it's a trauma response, I mean, you know, I still think it's valid. So let's see. Yeah. So sorry to perplex you with this, Ryan. No, it's Pan. So with a middle name of Anne, but the P for the first name. Try not to give too much information out, but it was just a play on words, and in our group chat we were just being stupid, and it just stuck. So we just called her Personal Pan, and but yeah, sorry about that. If you need more clarification, you know, you can hit us up at gmail.com and let us know. I'll give you a whole breakdown of it. But yeah. So what else was I going to talk about? Yeah, Mitch. Yeah, Merry Christmas, Christmas time, whatever y'all celebrate. You know, hope you're having a good one. I talked about what we were doing, and then I think that I don't know if we brought this up on the show before, but we have an inside joke where Shannon, my wife, and we did a market, like a punk rock flea market years ago, and the street team for the Motley Crue movie, the Dirt, that was based on the book, I guess. They were there, and every 5 minutes, I just kept hearing someone be like, "Oh, that's cool, man, but hey, have you seen the Dirt?" Just over and over and over again for like an entire day, and it just like permeated my my vernacular to where I just kept saying it over to everybody. But yeah, that's cool, man. Sorry about your mom, but like, have you seen the Dirt? And we said it so much that I think every member of my band has seen it, except for me, and I don't think Ryan's seen it, but we're probably gonna watch that, if not on Christmas Eve, then on New Year's Eve. I think we're gonna try to mark that off the list and start the year off right. But yeah, I don't know. What are some of y'all Christmas like specials or whatever that y'all like, that y'all remember or that you enjoy? Because we tried watching the Alf one on YouTube, and first of all, Shannon, my wife, she doesn't really care for Alf, which is you know, really sad. Like, this was the look that Alf made whenever I just said it. Like, he can't believe it either. But I loved Alf. A lot of my humor is based off of Alf and my mannerisms and my hygiene, and it just pretty much everything about me is rooted in Alf. But she didn't care for him because he likes to eat cats, and you know, we're cat people. But I can get past it. You know, I can get past it, but she can't, and that's fair. I understand, but there's more to Alf than what he eats. You know what I'm saying? And I just hope that one day she'll learn to appreciate him for what he really is, and or you know, how that he's a character. Well, I guess he's a person, but is he a person? He's more like an alien. But aliens can be people. Do they have alienality? I don't know. This whole thing gets weird when I start talking about this, especially when I talk about it on Easy Opens. I'm like pokenality, and it sounds like a fatality. Yeah, sorry. See, this is what happens when Ryan's not here to cut me off. Like every 5 seconds, you just get me rambling and asking questions. But I also heard that, back to Alf, I also heard that his Christmas special is like super sad, and I was not needing a sad Christmas special. But yeah. And then, but I mentioned earlier we watched the Ernest Saves Christmas, and that was great, and I really enjoyed that. And then I'm thinking that we might try to find another compilation of just different TV shows Christmas episodes. But like, part of me, it kind of irks me as well, as listeners of the show know, I like to go through things chronologically, and so if I'm just watching like different seasons Christmas episodes, that might be kind of weird. And I don't know. I don't really want to. I want to watch the whole thing, I guess. But yeah, John coming in with Alf sucks. Your wife is correct. Oh no, I can't. Alf is amazing, and just you'll take it back one day. I'll do something. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but you're wrong. Let's see. Raphael coming in the chat. Pinky and the Brain. It's so emotional for some reason. Oh, they have a Christmas. Oh, that's right, because they had their own. They had their own series, if I'm not mistaken. That's funny you mentioned that. I saw on one of the social medias, somebody was talking about how Pinky and the Brain were both actually created based off of two different Warner Brothers animators, and they showed the pictures of them, and they look just like Pinky and the Brain. It's bizarre. I was like, oh, that's neat. I didn't know about that. So yeah, I don't know. I might have to add that to the list. But emotional is okay. I can be emotional. Like I can get in the emotion of Christmas, because there's that part of it too. But like, I don't know, just something about a lot of stuff I was seeing about the Alpha was that it's sad, and I'm like, I don't need sad. I can feel sad for a minute, but then bring me back. But like, I don't know, maybe I'm just weird. But yeah, there's the He-Man Christmas special, which is excellent, and I've watched that quite a few times. Not this year, but I have in the past. But it got me thinking. Our buddies over at the Podcasters of the Universe, our buddy Jeremy DeWitt, he posted on Facebook that they were recording their episode tonight, I believe, and they were doing a Christmas episode, so they were asking for questions. So I wrote them a whole bunch of questions about He-Man and Santa Claus. And I was kind of impressed by what I was able to come up with and thinking about it, because it's like, real quick, just a little bit of He-Man talk. So Santa cares if you're good or bad, naughty list, all that kind of thing. But like a lot of the main protagonists of He-Man, so let's just take it like Adam, Prince Adam, Tila, She-Ra, Adora, Glimmer, all characters like that, they all disobey their parents. They all do. And if they're not disobeying their parents, they're actively lying to their parents about their secret superhero identity, which, lying is deception, which is, if you boil it down, it's not telling the truth. So, which is generally looked upon as being, I guess, naughty, which sounds weird to say, but like, or at least not good. And if it's not good, it's probably bad, right? So like, I'm just curious where Santa's line is. But that being said, if Santa is on Eternia, then like, are He-Man, She-Ra, Glimmer, and Tila on the naughty list? Like, do they not get stuff for Christmas? Like, that's kind of weird. I don't know. Like, I'd be questioning whether or not the prince got any Christmas presents from Santa, and if he didn't, then there'd be a lot I'd be wondering. So yeah, that, I don't know. I was just kind of like, really, the rabbit hole, it just kept going like deeper and deeper. And I'm like, okay, I think 5 questions for this podcast is enough, but hopefully they enjoyed that. And if you're interested in He-Man and like to hear people talk about He-Man and those toys, go check them out. They're really nice. And if you're wondering, Jeremy DeWitt was the one who sent us a video about somebody who couldn't stop doing something with their mouth, that we have quoted to, we quote to this day. That video, and he is the one who has the honor of bestowing that upon us and wrecking our vernacular for just as people, just etched into our souls. The dialogue in that video. So Jeremy, if you ever watch this, thank you very much for that. So yeah, Raphael coming in with apparently the voice actors for Pinky and the Brain cried during one of the scenes while recording. Jeez. That's acting. That's getting in there. I bet Chris Pratt doesn't cry whenever he's stealing everybody's voice acting jobs. Well, if he does, he's wiping it with all that money, just wiping the tears away with $100 bills or whatever rich people use for currency these days. But so yeah, guys, thanks so much for being here. I appreciate this. This has been kind of fun. Hope I'm not boring y'all. But yeah, I'm trying to think. The only other Christmas. Like, I don't know. I don't want to watch Christmas Vacation. It's great. I love it. It's fine. Don't want to do that. Don't want to do Die Hard. Don't want to do any of that. The Turtles Christmas sing along video is excellent, but we did that not too long ago. And then there's the 3-6 one, which is a fun little mashup for just a little bit, but it's not enough to get you going through the night. But yeah, I don't know. I gotta find some stuff, but I definitely think we're gonna watch the Nick at Night compilation, because that'll be a lot of fun. We watched the Bewitched episode. We didn't watch any more of them, but the Bewitched episode was weird because she's a witch, but it's kind of like a the thing with Night Before Christmas, I think, or whatever it was called, where the Ebenezer and stuff, where you take the guy and you show him all these different things. It's kind of a play on that a little bit, and it was just bizarre. It's like I guess I just don't understand Bewitched as much, like the rules. Like she can teleport, but she also has a broom that she flies on. So like, why are you flying the broom? Like, does the broom take gas? Like, what? How does the broom fly? Do you propel it with magic? And if magic is that, why would you waste time flying on a broom when you could just teleport anywhere you want? Does that take a lot more energy? I just have a lot of questions. And so then you get to thinking, like, is Samantha on Bewitched a Time Lord, like Lord Simultaneous, or Renee? Like, that's another good question. Like, I mean, because that sounds like something a Time Lord would do. Like, maybe she was a witch that became a Time Lord. That could be a very likely possibility, but I don't know. Other news, apparently Paramount and what was the other one? Nickelodeon, or no, Viacom, I think. They're merging, supposedly. That's what somebody was saying on our Facebook group, which if y'all haven't joined it, go check out Facebook groups and look for Turtle Soup. Find us there. A lot of cool people there. We were talking about that today. And yeah, people are wondering what's going to happen with the franchise. And I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward to it. I always like mergers. I like where a lot of the stuff is under one umbrella usually, because then it seems like it just, I don't know, or even if it's not a merger, if it's like, if they just work together, like Marvel and Sony is working together. Now, Spider-Man would probably have been infinitely better if they were under just one umbrella, but you know, working together is cool. But I guess that's the point I'm trying to make, is that if it was all under one thing, then that would be a lot less red tape to cut through, and we might get more cool stuff. Although that being said, we've been getting a lot of cool Turtle collaborations lately, which, you know, I'm not mad about at all. Again, back on that Power Rangers thing. Let me see if I got it. Oh, here we go. I'm getting ready for my reviews for Easy Opens to do the Turtles Power Rangers toys, and this Casey, well, it's not Casey, I want to call him Casey, but it's actually Tommy. But this foot soldier that's in the 2-pack with Raphael, the Red Ranger, it's fantastic. I'm a big fan of Hasbro's articulation in a lot of their figures, and I think this figure is just amazing. Like, he's so much fun to play with just because he poses really well and looks really cool. And it's kind of funny because, like, I've always thought that I'm one of those Tommy people that, like, Tommy's just inherently cool. And just even with his mask on, like, even as a foot soldier, he's still Tommy and he's still cool. So yeah, that's a mashup that I've loved that they've done recently, and I hope they continue to do more. And I think that they will continue to do another one of my favorite mashups, which was the Batman one, because if Warner Brothers and Viacom or Nickelodeon, whatever it is, they get together, then that's going to be really great, in my opinion, because then Batman will just be teaming up with the TMNT more and more, and that's really cool. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not too. I like to think they're going to leave well enough alone, so like IDW and stuff like that's going to be good, and just you know, keep doing what they're doing. But like, who knows what's going to happen with the what was it called, the Mutant Mayhem? Yeah, who knows what's going to happen with that. I like to think that it's probably far enough along that at the very least we'll get a second movie out of it, but I don't know. And then speaking of that, I read somebody online said something about how Shredder's going to have to be like 1,000 times scarier than Superfly, and that just got me thinking. Like the Shredder, like the Superfly in that movie, he was scary, I guess, but like, I don't know, like, I think it was just more so that he was terrifying in the sense that he had whales for feet or whatever it was. Like, that's just horrifying. Like, whales on their own are just terrifying, just in general. And to have them being used as a part of your anatomy, like, that's just something else entirely. And so I get that that's scary, but I just don't know how Shredder is going to be scarier than that in that movie line or that series or whatever, within the parameters that they've already established. Like, I don't know. That's going to be interesting to see how they're going to handle that. And I still hope that they do the high school drama, like almost like a CW show, but in a movie form with the Turtles. I think that would be interesting to see. But well, hey, and if they are merging with Warner Brothers, or is it Paramount Plus? I don't know. I could be wrong about all of this, but one way or the other, if they get anything like CW, like that would be neat. I'd watch a weekly CW teen drama of the Ninja Turtles. I mean, like they don't even have to have any actual fighting in it. Really, it could just be like people showing up at other people's sewers and just being like, "Hey, I had to tell you this that I could have sent in a text or a phone call and like saved some time, but I just wanted to tell you face to face." Like, I don't know. That's just how I always felt about Arrow. Like, I loved Arrow, but like it just felt like this conversation could have been an email or like a text, but whatever. Let's see. Let's check in with chat. So, John Clemens is not a fan of the merger. The guy running HBO, WB, is kind of a jerk, loves canceling finished products, and complains about woke culture, which is a huge red flag. Oh, yeah, no, I agree with all of that. I am not a fan of any of that. So, yeah, no, that sucks. I'm not that well vested into any of it to have the knowledge of any of these people. But based on what you're saying, yeah, no, I do not. I'm not looking forward to it now. So all of my positive spin, you just old drinked me, actually, John. So yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I don't like any of that. But hopefully, I don't know. The Turtles have a way of coming out and fighting stuff like that, if you know what I'm saying. So hopefully they can turn the tide and I don't know, make something good out of it. Ryan Ragland saying, rest in peace, JDF. Yes. Yep. I was thinking about, actually, I was listening to the older episodes, and it came up when we discovered that he had his MMA group that was, I forget what it was called, but I remember the tagline was Jesus Didn't Tap, and we thought that was the funniest thing in the world. And I might still need to get me them shorts that say that, because that's just too funny to me. I get it and I appreciate it. I think it's I don't want to say cool, but it's a fun play on words and clever, I guess, in some form. But nevertheless, I still find entertainment out of it. But yeah, rest in peace, man. That sucks. But yeah, so I'm trying to think if there was anything else that was going on, because I'm about to get out of here, I think. Oh, I was going to try. What I had planned to do was to play the DLC for Shredder's Revenge. I was going to have that on and while I was talking to y'all, but I couldn't get it to work at the last minute, and it just was giving me all kinds of headaches. So I'm going to have to figure something out to have that happen again, just in case we get another issue like this or another situation where, life happens and we got to fly solo and we have something to do, and so we can hang out. But yeah, so I think that's going to pretty much wrap it up. But yeah, if y'all want to email us anything, what you're doing for Christmas, any turtle stuff you get for Christmas, hit us up, turtlesoupshow@gmail.com. If there's anything we've forgotten that we haven't recorded an episode on or anything like that, definitely let us know, because we really want to make sure we're getting everything covered, because that's the premise of our show. And so, yeah, turtlesoupshow@gmail.com. If you want to listen to our episodes, turtlesoupshow.com. They're all up there, and it's fun. I'm also going through and kind of doing a I don't know what to call it. I guess it's just like an outline, maybe, or just like a timeline. That's the word I was looking for, of different things that are said on the episodes. So when I'm going back through and listening to them and kind of cleaning them up a little bit with like coughs and stuff, taking stuff like that out, I'm writing down when we talk about pertinent stuff and like things that come back up on the podcast, different inside jokes and whatnot that we have. I'm gonna hopefully be putting that in where the blog posts used to be. So because when we changed our server, we had to we lost a lot of that stuff. So I'm going to replace that with these time tags, and so that way, if you're anxious or not anxious, if you're curious where we said something, you hopefully should be able to perform. Try that again. Perform a search. There we go. That's the word I was trying to get out, on the website, and you could be able to find like any of the turtles come out and fight that, so you can skip to those episodes or whatever, and things like that. So hopefully that'll make it a little bit more enjoyable if you're curious where, if we did a cover song, like where that is. And so yeah, so we're gonna work on that hopefully in the near future. And yeah, things going forward, it's still Next Mutation. We're going to be doing 2 episodes next time we do a Prime, which hopefully will be next Thursday. We'll be able to knock that out and keep that going, that momentum going for on into next year, and hopefully we can get through with this pretty soon. And yeah, so I think that's going to do it for me tonight. So, guys, again, thank you so much for joining me here on this Christmas Chef Special episode. And yeah, until next Thursday, else time.